Hello, hello, and welcome to another week here of our developer stream for World of Tanks. How are you doing, Bam?
Wonderful. Coming into this, I'm like, God, I feel like I just came out of a stream from with you and I together, but I might be mixing that up with the fact that I was actually on another stream with T-Kane
Okay,
earlier
okay.
this week.
Right.
Days
Yeah,
are flying by.
I got a chance to take a peek in there and see your little stream there, so that was interesting stuff. But we're here to talk about the latest and greatest in World of Tanks. So why don't we
As
go ahead
always.
and as always, why don't we go ahead and start that off, Mr. Bam?
Okay. So we are still marching along in our Allegiance season, and this is just a brief reminder that the Allegiance season itself will run through February 14th. Also, reminder, community map. If you guys haven't already done so or are curious, in custom games, feel free to hop in, start a lobby, or join a lobby if there is one already up and running. We on design and development are looking for feedback. And at the same time, we will be collecting data, heat map data, play data, etc. And that is something that we also enjoy and take a little bit of pride in sharing back on stream to kind of showcase what you guys are doing in the map itself. But I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit. The community map, in case anyone here may or may not know, is our initiative to engage with the players, work and collaborate on making a map together. And in custom games, you can go in and check out this map yourself. Just go through the map list roster. You will find a map called Community Map. You can also filter it in if it makes it a little bit easier. It is set to an urban camo set. And as an additional reminder, custom games through the end of the season will have resupply costs disabled. So have at it, check it out all you guys want. And, as always, feel free to reach out and provide any feedback on any of our social channels. And please hit up our Discord channel. Our wonderful KB has set up a feedback channel on Discord specific for the community map. I personally am keeping an eye on that, and I'm forwarding any details and comments, ideas onto the development team themselves as well. So yes, help us out, help us collaborate, and let's make this map amazing.
Excellent.
I guess also on the same spectrum of maps, as you guys probably have all seen, Airfield is back in map rotation. Hopefully you guys had a chance to check that out. We do have it available in tiers 3 and up, as well as all eras in Cold War. And shout out to Sinister1. I know you're there in chat. I see you going by. We did include your name as a map name label on the radar map. So yeah, quick shout out to you, one of our community contributors. Yes, Airfield is a fan favorite map, and look for, hopefully you guys had a chance to try it out. One of the comments I do see coming up quite often anytime we do release a map back into rotation or add a new map is, can we please have these maps a little bit more in frequency, have it available so we can encounter it more in rotation. And I just want to address that really quick. That is something we are trying to address in the near future because we know there is demand, and this is the new hotness. This is the new map in rotation. You guys want to see it, and you might be playing through so many different matches just trying to get to that one. And we understand that, and we are trying to improve, and we will have news on that in the near future. All right. And then up next, another popular fan-requested feature. We have the release of the 4 new camo sets that came out earlier this Tuesday. And that includes the bright blue, the bright green, the bright pink, and of course the bright orangish red. And I think there's a lot of popularity around the pink, but quite honestly, our data that we've collected thus far, more players are picking up the bright green camo sets and are traveling around with that one. So just a neat little statistic if that takes your fancy. Personally, I'm kind of I love the orange.
The orange
orangish
one,
yellow camo myself, but I definitely equipped a few tanks with the pink camo as well. Got to be a joiner.
Yeah, no, a lot of our players have always been requesting a pink skin, so there we have it.
Yeah. And I should also note that these camos are available to place into multiple different camo environments. And I guess to that end, let's, on the topic of camouflages, let's do 2 giveaways to 2 lucky winners for their chance to win both the bright green and the bright pink camo sets.
All right. Well, there you have the link. If you'd like to join in for this giveaway, go ahead and enter your Wargaming ID and you'll be set for the rest of the day.
Okay. A few people asking about this tank behind me. Interesting. Yeah, what is sneaking up?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks a little odd. My lighting looks a little odd. I don't know what's going on with today's stream.
Well, maybe we'll get to that in just a moment.
We'll get to that.
Okay. Also this week we brought in some bonus quests, including the Earn XP and Silver for completing certain quests. And then a fan favorite, trade-ins are back. And I'm not going to go through the full list. This is, of course, posted onto our socials and our portal. And, of course, you can always check it in the tech tree itself. But I'll kind of briefly go through a few nations of tanks that you can expect, including the German line, the Scorpion G, and the Panther MIT-88, Tiger 217, the French Bretagne Panther, and the Barasque, as well as the Audace CDA 105. In the Czech, we have the General T27, the Zizka Skoda T40. God, that one just rolls off the tongue so well. The Swedish Sturv 81 and the Emil 51. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, it's very eloquent.
Very eloquent. Yeah. Polish, the Pudel, and the 50 TP Proto. The rest of this, because I know someone asked last week if there was any trade-ins coming to Cold War. And in case you missed it, happy to say that, yes, we have a few tanks here in the Western Alliance. We have the TCM AGS, as well as the T95E2. And then for the Eastern Alliance, we have the T55A and the T72 Ural. And then here's a bit of a fun statistic, if you guys are curious, for what's so far has been the most traded in tanks. And according to our data, the Sturv K was the most traded up chosen tank amongst for the Barasque. Sorry, just rereading the notes to make sure I said that right. Yeah, the most traded in tank is the Sturv K. The traded in was the Sturv K. The most traded up was the Barasque. Okay. Sorry for any confusion there. And then up next, we have our premium bonus where you can get extra 50% silver as well as XP on specific Tier 5 and Era 2 tanks in the following lines. That includes the Progetto 65, the 60... Progetto, the 60 TP, and the M8 AGS, and M3A2 Bradley.
Bradley's always been one of my favorite.
I do enjoy the Bradley. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm ready to do another giveaway, but before we do so, we can never elegantly move on to the next giveaway without announcing the winners for the previous one, because I think we have an announcement to make before we even start the next giveaway. So do we have our winners downloaded yet for these camo bundles?
Do we have our winners downloaded? Let's go ahead and take a look. We do. And our first winner here is Clover KC. Congratulations, Clover.
The lucky Clover.
Lucky Clover.
Lucky 4-leaf Clover.
And our second winner here is Galvarino. Congratulations, Galvarino. You are the lucky winner.
Congrats. And that was for a camo bundle, including both a set of bright pink and bright green camos. The most popular sets thus far.
Excellent, excellent. So what is this announcement that you're speaking of?
All right, so coming up next week, we got a new Cold War escalation era heavy tank coming in. You're probably already taking a few good guesses. Hold on, I'm leaning the wrong way here. Happy to announce that Chieftain Hybrid 120 is coming into the game next Tuesday, combined with great mobility and an excellent gun, making for a formidable combination. and it mounts a 120 millimeter gun with 530 damage and stouts a 3,975 DPM. And then while we're on the subject of the Chieftain Hybrid 120, like I said, let's do another giveaway. Let's start this off with just one lucky winner for your chance to win a Chieftain Hybrid 120.
All right, sounds good. Let me go ahead and get that link again for everyone here. If you've already entered, you'll be eligible for this giveaway as well. If not, then go ahead and click on that link. Give us your Wargaming ID. Alrighty.
Okay. All right, we have quite a few more things to cover coming next week. Lunar New Year is coming, of course, between the 20th and February 7th. Collect points to earn your pick of the Mercenary Tier 8 Light Tank. That is the TANK Mercenary Tier 8 Light Tank. Or you can also choose the Chinese Tier 7 Type 62. And then, of course, we have some Lunar New Year sales, including tanks as well as emblems. And then I know everyone's always clamoring, what is the next mercenary contract coming? And I believe I've seen this one being asked a few times in various past streams. Centrifuge Mercenary Tank is coming back to contracts. So that one, now is your chance to try that again, sign up for that contract, and work your way to earn yourself a Centrifuge. And then we also have a premium contract for your chance to get the T26 E3 Eagle 7. That is also inbound to you guys coming next week. All right. So also this past year, we did a lot of World War II matchmaking tests. And I'm sure a lot of people are also curious, like, are any of these changes coming to Cold War by any means necessary? And happy to say this is something we've been working on. Our server engineer has been coming up with a lot of configurations and ideas of how we can apply it. And coming this January 20th through the 23rd, we will have our Cold War matchmaking test. We're testing the same sort of pairs-based matchmaker that you guys are already familiar with that we've applied in World War II. However, the rules for Cold War will be as follows. Teams will be matched perfectly by their tank in each era, and the teams are mirrored as much as feasibly possible that we can in this new matchmaker. It will also allow a +1, -1 difference for the classes, except for light tanks. There's a lot more details to kind of break this down, but if you guys are more or less curious and want to know more, please see our portal page for the full breakdown and bulleted list of all the matchmaker rule sets and details after this stream. Let's see. Oh, and of course, we will do our best to provide feedback from the feedback form released during the test. As much of a lot of our community-driven tests, we appreciate all the feedback passed on from what your experiences was like, and it helps inform us in decisions and how we make these changes in the future. Okay. I think it might be time we announce our very lucky winner. Who's getting the Chieftain Hybrid 120, Tankz0rz?
Who is getting this Chieftain? Let's check it out. We're going to announce one lucky winner here as soon as we get downloaded. And
coming through those internet tubes.
All the internet tubes. Our lucky winner is Shurst Plate 5481. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And you will be receiving yourself your very first Chieftain Hybrid 120. All right. Up next, for those of you, if you had a chance to check out TK's stream earlier this week on Tuesday, I did hop on and I joined him, and we went to, of course, a little bit over the community map, did a little bit of an architecture tour of it to give anybody that may not have had a chance to see the map themselves. We did a bit of a drive-through on that, as well as hosting a standard battle with a full roster of 30 players altogether, and that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys if you were there to join us for that. But in addition, I was also on stream to talk a little bit about RD 2.0. And so if you didn't get a chance to see it then, feel free to rewind and go back to our Twitch stream on Tuesday. If I do recall, we even kicked off the stream talking about Artillery 2.0 developments, where I shared a lot of our data, the gameplay data of what you, the players, have been experiencing the past month now. And kind of going over a lot of the takeaways that we see, a lot of the sentiment and comments and feedback that we get from the community itself, and a brief idea of where we might be potentially taking Artillery 2.0 into the future. And as a reminder, Artillery 2.0, as it has been since the very beginning when we started making some drastic changes to this initiative, it's a test. And we can't know for sure if we are making meaningful and the correct decisions here without applying these changes into the live environment, because we need a broader spectrum. We need a larger population of players than we can even achieve in an internal test, and even with our super testers. And so I understand there's a lot of mixed feedback in terms of the handling and what you guys get to experience with Artillery 2.0. And I still, again, need to stress, this is all very much a test, and we need to know if the data is telling us we're moving in the right direction. With all that being said, at this time, I don't actually have any data to share with you at this moment. I'll try to compile and have something more comprehensive in our stream next week. But if you are interested, again, I do urge and encourage checking out TK's stream on Tuesday, where I do showcase a set of graphs and some data. But in any case, I'll give you guys a brief idea of what to expect in our next season for Artillery 2.0, as a lot of meetings and a lot of deep diving into our analysis and comparing where Artillery has gone in the past year and a half and how that's kind of been developing and changing. What you guys can expect in the next season, we will be doing our very best to apply a system in the matchmaker that will limit one artillery per team. Let me be clear here. It's not suggesting that you will always have a match and it will always be one arty on your team or on the enemy team. It is still possible to get 2 arty per team. It is still possible to get 3 arty per team. Drastic improvements to the matchmaker to help enforce that 1 arty will be allowed per the team. A lot of this will be dependent on the amount of players waiting in queue, sometimes depending on how many artillery players might be waiting in there, and depending on how long they have been waiting in the queue times. We will have to start kind of pushing the queue through a little bit and getting some more of those 2 arty per team and 3 arty per team. But I want to stress that we are minimizing the percentile of which you would encounter more than 1 arty per team. And we are also striving to push that 1 arty per team become much more of a standard in most of your matches. That is kind of our commitment and how we are looking to move forward with Artillery 2.0, again, in next season. And that is still not going to be the end. This is still an ongoing test. We will continue to measure, we'll continue to look at the data, we'll continue to receive your feedback from the beyond next season, if it needs to go anywhere at all. This is why data analysis is very important and helps inform us the decisions to make sure we're on the right track and doing right for the players and the game itself. That is kind of my long-winded spiel on what RD 2.0 is coming in the near future. Again, like I said, tune in next week. I'll try to collect a lot of extra graphs and data to showcase with you guys and why we are coming to the decisions that we are. So hopefully that helps alleviate and answer some questions. 2 more giveaways. The very popular camos. Let's do 2 more lucky winners for a chance to win a both bright orange and a bright blue camo set.
Sounds great. I just dropped the link in chat if anyone's new joining us. If not, then you're all set if you already entered. I believe it's time to get let's see, what time is it here? Shout outs time, isn't it, Mr. Bam?
Shout outs time. Here we go. And as always, as part of our shout outs and our amazing battle feats from you, the players, you guys will be receiving confidential key cards as a reward for your efforts in amazing feats. And we also look at the data for select tanks and from players in the past week, just kind of an FYI, because we also know that sometimes players are like, why isn't my battle feats ever like noted here, or why wasn't this player? We typically look at just the past week worth of data or any sort of new tank releases and kind of showcase the players that made amazing milestones and progress on said select tanks. So without further ado, in the Scorpion G, we have quite a few users here. We got the Masis 342 with max kills in a single battle of 9. Congrats to you. Powell Blizz with max damage in a single battle of 7,810. And lastly, also in the Scorpion G, Peck D659 with max combined assist in a single battle of 4,447. Congrats to you folks. Up next in the T54E2, we have Predator SLS 77 with max kills in a single battle of 11. Then we have YZFR6 Yamaha with max damage in a single battle of 7,385. And then lastly, again in the T54E2, we have user It's Spyro with max combined assist in a single battle of 5,447. Congrats to you three. Up next, we have in the T72 Ural, Chobi Happy 333 with max damage in a single battle of 10,859. Next, we have Bloody Monster with max combined assist in a single battle, 8,672. And lastly, Tankz0rz 2007 with max block damage in a battle of 11,600. And then some fun stats. Medal Showcase, TNGS X Tiger in their Scorpion G, who achieved the Invincible medal. Congratulations to you, sir. Or ma'am. Seth Destructor in the T54E2, who achieved the Kolobanovs medal. And yes. Oh, and then, in case we need to elaborate, the Invincible medal is awarded by those who can survive 5 or more battles in a row without taking any damage. That's very impressive. And Kolobanovs is standing against alone against 5 or more enemy tanks and win. So amazing. Up next for the milestones, and a huge congrats to this Nupigir boys and Moran for reaching their 100,000th battle. Congratulations. No Probs Bob battles.
Well, congratulations to all of you. And as always, that's a lot of battles.
That's a lot of battles.
That's a lot of battles. So,
and we got a few more statistics to share here. An interesting one, and I'm sure a lot of you have taken advantage of this, and we're very glad this was a very well-received event. The Quest for Silver, with the Silver with Interest Challenge that we had running over the past few weeks. Here are the players who earned the most silver, specifically in a Tier 8, Tier 10, and Era 3 during the Silver with Interest Challenge. In Tier 8, with an astonishing 3,836,000 silver, again, that's almost 4 million silver in a Tier 8 vehicle, goes to DG Darkness in the Ragnarok T34-100.
Wow.
Amazing. And then in Tier 10, in the SU-152 Tehran, earning 1,440,000 silver, Dead Solstice. Congrats to you. And then lastly, in Era 3 in the Cold War, in the MBT-70, earning 5,910,361, so close to 6 million. We have Amy R. It's a difficult gamer tag.
Yeah, it's just Amy R.
Amy R.
Congratulations. That is a lot of silver, and it would have been really sweet if you hit the 6 mil, but I mean, I'll take the 5.9.
That's still impressive.
It is very impressive.
That's a lot of silver.
That's a lot of silver.
Okay. And then I suppose that this was a player requested concern, or not concern, but just a question that kind of came up. Do our in-game reports actually get reviewed or mean anything into the game? The answer to that is yes. These are reviewed by our team, and thanks to your reports, we have 154 players that have in fact been given sanctions, and 7 of them permanent sanctions in the game. So just so you guys know, those reports do go through our teams, and we do review them, and there are repercussions for those who are reported.
Alrighty.
Okay, how are we looking on that giveaway for the last bundle set, camo bundle set?
Let's go ahead and pull some winners here. All right. And our winner is Smile for Shaheen. Congratulations, Smile
Congratulations.
For Shaheen. And Spartan John 778. Congratulations, Spartan John.
Awesome.
You're also a lucky winner.
You both will be receiving a bundle set including the bright orange and bright blue camo sets.
Mm-hmm. And now it's time for our favorite segment, the Q&As.
The Q&As.
Before that, I think we have another giveaway, don't we, Bam?
Do we want to do one more giveaway for today?
I think we should give one more.
One more? All right. We've done quite a few of the camo bundles.
Mm-hmm.
How about one more? Hold on, one more Chieftain Hybrid 120.
You're pointing at it, but like your fingers disappearing.
the tank behind me.
Okay,
one more lucky winner for their chance to win the Chieftain Hybrid 120.
All right, let's go ahead and get that going then. So if you'd like to enter for that, if you've already entered, you're already set. If you just got here, here's the link. Alrighty. Q&A section. Let's see. What do we got going on here today? Question from, if you read this, 90210.
We're reading it now.
Can you please change how the in-game tank info panel describes what tank you to show? Currently, you are fighting one tank. It can often be dodged or dodgily show the status of different further away tanks instead.
Okay, for context, the user is asking and talking about what we call internally the target tracker, the tank target tracker box, right? And that could be in the upper left-hand corner of your screen or the bottom right, depending on the option that you so choose. And yes, there is sometimes an issue when you're aiming to enemy tanks that are kind of within close proximity. You might not be looking at the target tracker might be grabbing the information from the targeted tank that you're not actively trying to aim at. So yes, I can understand that gets a little bit confusing to that point. What I will share to that end is we are making some changes and updates to the target tracker information into the near future. So just to answer that, yes, we are going to look into it, and you will be seeing some changes in the very near future.
Excellent. Next question here from No Probs Bob, asking, buying tanks back and having fully upgraded them is a chore. Any chance we can get a quick step to fully upgrade tank in, let's say, one press?
That's interesting. I mean, each player has a different idea of what I guess a fully upgraded means to them. Especially on vehicles that offer two different sort of gun options. Sometimes there are tanks with modules and gun selection options that are more preferable than even the higher end gun to unlock during the progression model. It's interesting. That's a very unique question. I do understand that some players are very careful and want to keep their garage slots reserved for other tanks, etc. So sometimes they might get rid of a tank in favor of something new that comes through. But then they come back, maybe later they earn another garage slot or have purchased a garage slot finally and want to pick up that tank again. What I can say to that end, like we can amuse the idea. I'm not going to make any promises on it. You did technically sell it, but yes, right now you would have to rebuy all your modules back. So that's a discussion I'd have to have with the design team and see if there's any sort of changes we'd like to make in that regards.
All right. Next question here from Man O Machine. Why are there only 4 Era 3 premiums, and why are only 2 available for purchase?
So Cold War, as opposed to World War II, is still relatively a new mode. We are like well over a year into it, of course. But Era 3 premium vehicles are, in fact, the most expensive. So they are generally fewer of them due to their, higher costs. We do pay close attention to the price points of tanks we choose to release to make sure they are affordable and of a proper, a cost that we feel is reasonable. A great example is the recent Holiday Ops event that we've done with the M47 Iron Army, where players could earn unlockable discounts to reduce the price from a fairly expensive gold cost to something much more affordable. To give you kind of an example, Iron Army at its standard release price was 22,000 gold and some change. With the discounts applied, if you guys have gotten the discount from the Team Arnie Holiday Op, you can now purchase it at a more affordable price of 9,000 gold and some change. As far as to why like certain ones are available to purchase, this is due to there being 2 types of premiums, and tech tree premiums always available, and as well as the store premiums available through the bundles or special sale events.
Next question here from Raging Storm 01. They're asking, can we get standard gun options for vehicles like the M48A2, TL1, LPC, and FV1066?
So, okay, let's go through each of those. Let's start with the M48A2. The gun for the M48A2 is already pretty standard. It only has just a special HE round. On the topic of the TL1 LPC, which already has 2 gun options, a 2-round clip, as well as a standard single-fire gun. And then the FV1066 Senlock is already standard and also has a special HE round. But again, I'm not sure if the HE round is enough to warrant creating a new gun for them to use normal HE rounds, but it's something we could potentially look further into.
Sounds great. Next question here from Blakeski96. They're asking, are there any plans to add filters to the stats page?
We do actually have a ticket for this. This falls down under a lot of the similar quality of life features that we have in our game. A lot of it is all on the UI end of priorities. And every milestone, every season, we prioritize. This goes across all departments, but UI especially, they have a long task list. So something even like this is ticketed. It's on their to-do list, but in terms of prioritization and where to find where it can fit in best, that's still something we are internally figuring out on our kind of roadmap plan.
Dart Swinger 73 is asking, Tech Tree T58 this year for the USA heavy tanks?
No plans to add this specific tank to the tech tree, but we have noted previous requests actually asking it to be a premium vehicle. So, but nothing to share right now. No plans at this time.
Serhi Ruban's asking, can you add commander contracts?
That's a fairly interesting idea. But I mean, if you are looking for ways to earn commanders, we do include them as part of the seasons and already show up as awards and various other earn events. This would be more or less just another element in which you could earn them. Honestly, I'm not too against it. It's something we could investigate. Commander contracts.
Commander contracts for the Tankz0rz. I mean, Der Otto is asking, Black Edition tanks for Cold War, when?
Well, we're very early on into 2023, and as everyone is aware, our Black Edition tanks is something that we always sell during the Black Friday timeframe. So we are several months out from that. We are still working out what our tank plans are for the entirety of the year and adjusting our schedules in our meetings. I am a huge fan of the Abrams Cold War tank myself, I will personally weigh in that I'd love to see a Black Friday Abrams tank. But other than my personal opinion, there's nothing that I can share at this time.
Okay. Chaffee Seam 41 is asking, any new IS series tanks coming to Cold War?
So player feedback on the tanks added seems to prefer new tanks being added instead of the same vehicle and lines that were already in World War II mode. Well, this doesn't mean we don't add that at some point, but we're trying to find some more unique and more interesting vehicles to add first. So not a promise, but also not just a direct no, not coming.
Okay. Let's take a look over here. We got a question from Gunny531, and they're asking, can you please fix the gun sounds on the Object 777?
Okay, so I did get a note. It's so funny. Off tangent. A lot of these questions come up, and I have to be honest and clear, because like something like this is not something I can be very immediate and on the point aware of what the issue or how even the gun sounds sound like. So, a shout out to our community team and how well they keep up with a lot of the questions and deep diving into a lot of our tasks and ticketing, because this is a situation in which I don't know what's wrong with the gun sounds. And there's a lot of other elements like that. So just thank you to you guys for digging into this, and that we can help address questions like this. So yeah, can we fix the gun sounds on the Object 77? This is something we investigated with that specific tank a few months ago, and using correct gun audio. We can always reach out to the team again and give it another look in case something has changed since then.
Let's take a look here. Next question from Meme Master 420 is asking, any hint on what the next tank line for Cold War is?
Well, we are a bit a ways off. No hint I can give, at least not on this stream.
Not this
Sorry.
time. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Well, next question here from Burke is asking, when will the Yugoslavian premium tank be in Cold War?
Possibly we might see one this year. To be determined.
Excellent. The Bear 55 is asking, disappearing ribbons to be fixed and stay up after battle for next week.
We were looking into that because we know players really want the ribbons to remain on screen when you're in the post-mortem view. It was something we were trying to strive and look into ways that we could get it in. Not coming next week, but you can, wow, I'm all over the place here. You can expect to see the ribbon staying up on screen in your post-mortem cam view in the next season.
You do, you can, you will. Next question here from Marion Bariu asking, question, why is the XP from challenges like string theory not count for contracts?
It's been this way. We just don't allow earnings from one challenge to count towards the challenges and contracts. A lot of it is always just derived directly from your base earnings of any given match. So quests don't really, I'm sorry, not quests, any one of the challenges will never really contribute to each other.
Next question here from Maxzilla1998 asking, what's Westfield's percentage in the map rotation?
Well, right now, what I will tell you in the next season, this is something that we are working toward, is giving more like a weight system back into the game that can increase percentages and frequency of maps in rotation. Right now, however, we don't actually have maps set to any percentages. It's actually based on a least played system currently. This was something I believe we established around the August or September timeframe, if I do recall. This was a way to help players play newer maps after every single battle to better avoid the back-to-back map issue that we used to have over a year ago, and get you guys into seeing refreshing maps every so often. So it's more based on what has been least played recently, and that's the next one that goes into queue.
Excellent. Good to hear. Next question here is from Anime for Gamers asking, in the future, will we see wheeled tank destroyers in Cold War?
Tank destroyers aside, the wheeled vehicle aspect of it, we are still developing a tool to even be able to start production on it. So anything wheeled vehicles in Cold War is just on hold. We can't give any exacts. We can't give any dates at this time. It is just a matter of getting the tools that allow us to build the tanks themselves and get them all tuned and ready to go. So apologies, nothing I can share at this time. But I will be certainly happy to announce when we do have something and, coming in the near future, right? That's something we would love to say at some point soon.
Question here from Mr. Trias. They're asking, French Cold War tanks before 2024?
Possibly.
Sounds great. The Big Cat is asking, when's the next on track?
No dates or specifics we will give at this time, but I will just state no on track for the remainder of this month.
I like this one. Commander Catnip is asking,
where's my cat at? Commander Catnip.
Commander Catnip. I think that's your cat asking for this, huh? Sharpshooters coming back around. Any chance for a sharpshooter coming back around?
Unlikely to see it this year. More likely next year.
All right. Justin G's asking, could we get a reforge on some premium tanks?
Actually, we are actively looking at premium tanks that need a little bit more attention and love. So yes.
Karam 1975 is asking, new commanders, 3D for Poland. Any chance for Polish 3D commanders?
Well, to our knowledge, nothing is currently planned, but it's never out of the question. Okay. Just there's no specifics I can even give at this time.
Right. Well, here comes another animal coming through. We got a giraffe. 2801 is asking, is there no tank of the month for January?
The tank of the month is the Falcon T92. Excuse me. You can find this on the Xbox or PlayStation Store, depending on your console of use.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying that one. A Loaded Psycho is asking, are there any plans to make changes to matchmaking for World War II closer to +1 -1 for this year?
No. So we have decided to move on from the +1 -1 matchmaking last year and have implemented a new matchmaker, which we have dubbed the Pairs Matchmaker, that you guys have helped us test earlier last summer. So yeah, +1 -1 is not something we plan on doing. There is other things that we are actively having discussions. I can't give any more details outside of that. It's not +1 -1 matchmaking, but we are keeping that concept in mind with a lot of the development and discussions ongoing right now.
Sounds good. Plum73 is asking, can I ask about the event for the 9th anniversary for WoT console in February?
Sure, ask away. What do you want to ask about the 9th anniversary? Jokes aside, no details to share on that just yet. We will have stuff to share when the time is ready.
The Cats 2K is asking, can we have standard 2D commanders, avatars / pictures be available to be customized so you can choose a standard commander pick? So you could choose another standard commander pick.
That's interesting. I will say it's almost like going into like a snapshot mode, I imagine, feature. Mm-hmm. I will say it may sound simple and like such an easy thing, user facing, I suppose, but I can already see it's a larger UI undertaking. I will say there is not going to be any plans for this. So yeah, apologies there.
It's always that UI team, I tell you.
That darned UI.
Yeah.
they do God's work. They help the whole user experience, and they are always improving this, and we are always having active discussions on how to improve a lot of things all over the game itself, whether it's in the menu system itself, the tank reel icons, spectator HUD, like those are always getting updated and changed, and even the HUD itself, we're always making active changes every single season. There is no shortage of work for the UI team, and we thank them for their hard work.
Thank you, Mr. UI, for all your hard work. Here's the next question from Joseph Gorski. They're asking, any news on what the next season is going to be about?
So we're a couple weeks away, so nothing that we will go into detail at this time.
All right. Martin M., are you guys adding more hero/premium skins for tier 10?
Yes, and you can expect some more coming this very month. No details to share, but look forward in the near future.
Chaffee Steam 41, when will this event come back?
What is this event? So the note I have here is we have other events we are running before that event will come back around, but we are glad you enjoyed it. If I had to guess, we're talking about the silver, the silver challenge, yeah. Right? Because that was a very exciting, and players really jumped in to get their huge silver earnings. So no details or anything we can share now. It's, we only just recently put that one to bed, but we're keeping an eye. We'll see what the players might say, and it's never.
Dart Swingers asking, any chance of making the Cold War, when the rocket's coming at you, that you have the ability to shoot out of the sky, so incoming missiles be able to be shot down?
Well, funny enough, we prototyped that. And it was something we were trying to do even at first inception of the ATGM as a feature in Cold War. There was a lot of technical limitations, mostly like with engineering focus on it. I'm at a pause because I'm actually trying to go back in time, and because I'd love to divulge and share a little bit of what we tried to do with it. Essentially, it was a matter of how the server and client reads whether a active shell object in flight its collision to another object in flight interacts with each other, and that became a huge challenge, and quite honestly would also be likely a performance problem at the same time. So now what I will stress is it's not like off the tables. It's not something we can revisit, because I think for some players that ATGMs and countermeasures to any sort of missiles comes up a lot. That's also kind of why we introduced the missile targeted alert, as well as smoke consumables. We have some sort of countermeasures available to players to use. It's not out of question we try something and look into implementing a way for players to shoot it out of the sky again. But again, we did not ship with it because there was technical limitations. Blind Wild Dog, shout out to you, sir. Bam, get in the DeLorean.
Yeah, it seemed like you were about to start meditating there. It's like, bam, imagine the time before modern armor, and you're like, oh yeah.
I was digging. I had to dig deep in my brain there.
Another question here from MaxZilla1998 is asking, is it possible to give all the World War II mediums manual hydraulic suspensions?
I mean, of course, anything can be possible with time and resources. This would be something we'd have to ask, is it actually desirable, spread across all World War II mediums? Siege mode is not the most well-liked feature. It's very beneficial for select tanks that can take advantage of it. But whether or not we add that to all mediums, that's something we'd also have to probably gauge with the player base and see, is this in fact a positive change to include?
We've been asking ourselves if we could, but we haven't been asking ourselves if we should.
If we should.
Yeah. Question here from the Game Night Hungry. Hello, 2 questions. Can we expect the game to be on PlayStation VR and gaining ground on the platform that's has seen nothing like it before? So, any plans for PlayStation VR?
So basically, World of Tanks in VR. Okay, I'm hopping into that DeLorean. I'm going back in time now. I'll just tell you, we did actually. Okay, we didn't prototype. There was no real development, but we did in fact float the idea amongst the development team of whether we support PlayStation VR back in the day. I myself am a VR enthusiast. I do love it. There are a lot of other concerns with VR, especially with our game. And quite honestly, a lot of games, if they're not built up from the ground up with VR in mind, the experience itself is not going to it's not going to be a very comfortable experience. In my opinion, like maybe like looking in the garage and some menus is going to feel very comfortable, but try to put yourself in the shoes of like a player that's actually driving the tank around and aiming and going between first person and third person view. There's a lot of motion sickness concerns with there and controllability concerns at the same time, whether we go with a motion control sort of thing anyway. In any case, I know might not be the most exciting topic for maybe majority of our audience here. Like I said, I'm a VR enthusiast, so I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the concerns and early on conversations of trying to get it in. But to ultimately answer your questions, no, there is no plans to bring VR to the console of World of Tanks.
Just imagine you as a little commander, like popping the hatch open and you're just pointing like, go drive that way.
You see, that's like that's a completely like different game in and of itself, right? You know, on our end, we'd still keep the core experience of what World of Tanks is, just with, you know, VR kind of strapped into it. But if we wanted to give players a more immersive experience, that's like building up an entire different like development team to create something like that supports it. Mm-hmm. I love the idea, but like I said, there is no plans to do so.
And second part of their question is there an expansion for the skill bar in the works? Is it planned? So commander skills going from 12 or
from 9 to 12.
Yeah.
Right now, no current plans. I know this is something that players do ask for and would love some changes in terms of the quantity of skills they can add to their commanders. We designed the set, and a lot of the changes that we applied to the skills already were to make them more powerful and to give player more agency of choice of what commander skills really work connectively together for a good balancing point. So that way, you know, in the past, we used to allow players to have so many commander skills, and it got to a point where it became OP. It became way too powerful with commanders with a huge subset of skills. And it was, you know, our decision to move in a direction of keeping it at 9. So whether that changes in the future, you know, that's another conversation point and more development topics that we'd have to cover internally. But at this time, no plans to do so.
Degeneration is asking, could we allow premium users to work on 2 contracts at the same time, which will work alongside each other?
I mean, we could allow that. I guess I don't have much to elaborate. There is no current plans to do something like that, but I do understand like the benefit to the player of being able to multi-grind at the same time. Really quick, we still have a winner pending for our Chieftain, do we not?
We do. Let's go ahead and swap gears here and we'll take a look at that. Can I read you one more question here, and then I'll go look for the winners?
Sure, they're still downloading it, take it?
Yeah. So
okay, one more question.
Sloan73, would you like to make an event for historical World 2 tanks like the Matilda, Black Prince, or the PZ4? Mr. Ramy. Schmaltrum, or something like that.
So just on the topic of historical battles, yes, this was something WoT PC introduced some years back, and you know we've monitored and taken a look at how they handled it, etc. And it does come up in our own internal conversations as well. It is an idea that we like, and it is something we're kind of like looking into. much like a lot of my answers, and I apologize for it, no plans that I can divulge into or commit to any specifics at this time. But I'll just let you know, on the dev side of everything, historical battles is something we agree is a fun idea.
Excellent. We have our winner here, and I very much like this gamer tag. So, our winner here, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are we ready? We're ready. All right. Our winner for what are our this winner? What is this winner getting? A Chieftain hybrid or something like that?
The Chieftain Hybrid 120.
All right.
Coming this Tuesday.
So for this lucky winner is getting a Chieftain Hybrid 120. The winner is Exported Milk. Congratulations, Exported Milk.
I like exported milk better than expired milk.
Unless I'm reading it incorrectly. Yeah, it's Exported Milk. Congratulations, you're the lucky winner.
Enjoy your exported milk in your new Chieftain Hybrid 120.
Congratulations. All right, Mr. Bam, I believe that about wraps it up here for today. How are you feeling?
We got through quite the set of questions today.
Yeah, we got all the questions. But thanks to our lovely team here, we were able to breeze through them like no problem, right?
I stumbled over my words quite a bit. Let's be honest here.
It's all good. Don't we all? But anyways, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today, and we really appreciate you just being here with us, hanging out, celebrating tanks, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the battlefield, and we'll be here next week. So until then, take care everyone, have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.